Good day everyone. In today's video, we will discuss the distinction between good and bad entrepreneurs. Good and bad entrepreneurs are extremely opposite, so as with the rich and poor entrepreneurs. In this illustration, there are rich entrepreneurs which are bad, and there are also rich entrepreneurs which are good. On the other hand, there are also bad entrepreneurs who are poor. Same with the good entrepreneur who are also poor. In this lecture, I will give you an extremely opposite behavior which can make an entrepreneur good or bad. At the same time, it can also distinguish them whether they will become rich or poor. The first behavior that we will discuss is about hardworking and lazy. In a typical responsible person who have 24 hours in a day, they will divide their time in the following. First, for generating income works, they will provide 8 hours for this. The second, 8 hours will be for the non-income generating works, such as household activities or community activities and the like. And the third 8 hours will be allocated for rest and recreation. The hardworking individual are those who sacrifice their time for rest and recreation to increase their other works, or whether they increase their income generating or non-income generating works. In this figure, the time allocated for rest and recreation was decreased to 6 hours, while the income generating work increased to 10 hours. So this is a typical example of hardworking individual on how they allocate their time. So this hardworking individual had spent additional 2 hours of work to find additional income for their family. The second type of individual are the lazy. In this figure, the lazy individual increase their time for rest and recreation while sacrificing their non-income generating works like household works. So they minimize their time, they minimize quality time spent on their family. The funny thing is that there are people who are hardworking in disguise. They work beyond 8 hours. They search for additional income. However, they spend more hours for their rest and recreation. So these people had missed the opportunity to spend quality time with their family. So those hardworking entrepreneurs are good. At the same time, they have opportunity to get rich, while those lazy ones are bad entrepreneurs, and there are great chance that they will become poor. The second extremely opposite behavior that I'm going to show to you are generous and greedy. So we have stakeholders that surrounds us as an entrepreneur. These are the consumer, the supplier, and our laborers. So take a look at this equation. It simply says that customers' expense is equal to supplier income, laborers' income, and your income as an entrepreneur. So if you get rich, some stakeholder will be affected. The generous entrepreneurs are those who share their blessings to their stakeholders. So in this figure, the entrepreneur had only a few income, which is 10 or 10,000 pesos as US. This entrepreneur shared his blessing to his supplier and laborers by giving them reasonable income. And at the same time, this entrepreneur did not sacrifice the spending of their customer by giving them a reasonable rates. On the other hand, the greedy entrepreneurs are those who have huge income for themselves. In this figure, the entrepreneur has greater income compared to the income of both supplier and laborer as combined. And at the same time, they let their customer shoulder the burden of heavy expenses for their product. There are also entrepreneurs that are generous in disguise, as the third figure shows that some entrepreneurs spend a portion of their income for their charitable work. But the funny thing is that their expenses for advertisement of their charitable work are higher compared to their actual charitable work. But in the reality, they share only low income for their laborer and supplier, which are the persons who work for their business to grow. On the other hand, they let their customers suffer for the huge expenses for their product. So those generous entrepreneurs are good, but it is not advisable to become so much generous because it could make you poor entrepreneur. On the other hand, those greedy entrepreneur as well as those generous in disguise will become rich. However, we can consider them as bad entrepreneurs. As a conclusion, we can say that good entrepreneurs are hardworking and generous. On the contrary, bad entrepreneurs are lazy and greedy. So take note, there are a lot of behavior which we can distinguish good and bad entrepreneur. So it's up for you to determine what are those extremely opposite behavior which could make you a good or bad entrepreneur. Thank you.